Here's Professor Gabriel Calzada. Professor, what have you found in your study in Spain? What's the truth of the green jobs?
Well, we found that the jobs that we are creating, since you are taking the resources from other parts of the economy, this is destroying jobs in other parts of the economy. For every job that you are creating, 2.2 jobs are not being created in the rest of the economy.
Okay, wait a minute. You're saying they're not created, or they're lost? 2.3 jobs are lost for every one.
Are lost of course, in the sense that you take these resources, and these resources do not, since you take these resources out of some sectors, in these sectors 2.2 jobs are lost for creating one job, one green job.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here. That's just because the economy hasn't fully flipped. It hasn't fully gone green yet. I mean, as soon as these things really take off, then the jobs will be there.
We were told back in 1997, when this program started, and the European Union and Spain was saying, well, at the beginning we will need 5-10 years in order to make this possible, in order to make this technology viable, in order to make this technology run in the market without subsidies. And 12 years later, they are telling us that we need to push them with public money, with billions, for many more years. So they are speaking now about 15, 20, 25 years.
Okay, the cap and trade thing, how much, when you did cap and trade over in Europe, how much did energy prices go up? Here they're saying that it's going to go up, but you're going to get that money back.
Well, this is difficult to say, because the cap and trade system put a pressure in the prices, but the prices are not free in Europe, in most of the European countries. For example, in Spain, the price of the electricity is set by the government. So what you see is the price has been going up since then, and that many companies are going out of the country because, especially the electricity-intensive companies, are going out of the country. Some of the companies are coming to the United States. At least until now, they have been coming to the United States.
There's a lot of, like, right now, we're told, well, we can take on these companies, and they're going to need to have some subsidies at the beginning, but then the subsidies will stop. You're seeing the same thing in Spain, where they haven't stopped. You were told and promised the same thing.
Well, they haven't stopped, and right now, from the year 2000 until the year 2008, 29 billion euros, which is more or less $37 billion, have been put into the renewable sector in order to create these green jobs. And what we see is that we have created 50,000 jobs, more or less, according to the European Union. And this, if you do some math, this is more or less over 500,000 per green job created, 500,000 euros per green job created, so over $700,000 per green job.
A cynical person would say that there's no reason for the only logic lies in creating these things if you're trying to enslave people. Either you're just dumb as a box of rocks, or you're trying to enslave people to the government for their existence. Do you have another answer? I mean, you have unemployment. Unemployment now is at 17.8% in Spain. You're being held out as this great green country. Your studies show that the green jobs it's an absolute nightmare. Why is this being touted?
Well, this is a very good question. For an economist, especially for an economist, it is really difficult to understand why would a country like the US, with relatively low unemployment, want to learn how to create jobs from a country like Spain, which has the record of unemployment rate in the developed countries. It's a very, very good question.
Well, it's progressive thinking on our part. We're trying to be really very progressive now, you know. We don't want to be like, we don't want that old style thinking like we used to have. We want to be very progressive and be like Spain with 17.8% unemployment. If you didn't have the green jobs, do you think, and all the government interference, do you have anything in your study that shows that things would be able to turn around?
Well, right now the only way out of because in Spain what the politicians have done is to create a bubble. They have created a huge bubble, a renewable bubble, And every year, in order to maintain the bubble there, they have to put more and more millions or more billions into the bubble. And right now, the bubble has burst because the government was not able to increase the amount of money they were putting into the bubble. And since most of these jobs that we call subprime jobs, because they are very risky jobs, they can only be maintained if you continue increasing the amount of money that you put into the system, into the scheme. Most of these jobs are lost because it came to a point where the government was not able to increase the amount. So right now, the only possibility of these companies that are closing down and firing thousands of people is that another country would buy the story and would start with a similar scheme, so that the Spanish companies would sell the idea to the product to the other country.
Look who's in line to buy it, too. Thank you very much, Professor.